So one thing I want you three to remember. Anytime they mention lights, you always got to say that they're clean and clear. So anytime we jump to any lights, you got to say that they're clean and clear. And then you tell me what color they are, and then tell me what they're used for. Okay? So this is Form A. If you get Form A, you will stand in front of the truck like me. The tester will be where you're at. So right now, when I'm conducting this, you three are the tester, I'm the student. Okay? Okay, first of all, I want to cover is my clearance lights. I want to make sure that they're clean and clear, not damaged, not broken, and it's amber in color. Please don't be that student and be like, Danny, it's white. It's white because the lights are off. God damn it. If I turn it on, it will be amber, all right? Okay? Then now I'm going to come down to my lights here. I got my high beams and my low beams, and they are also clean and clear, not damaged, not broken. I'm going to go to my turn signal lights, which they are also what?
Amber color.
Clean and clear, amber in color, and then you tell what it's used for. I got my left turn signal, my right turn signal, and my four-way flashes. Okay? Now, if I don't mention things that you already know, it means it's not on the test. See what I mean? I get students who's like, oh, okay, Danny, what if it's leaning and leaking? Oh, that's great, because it's not on your test, so I'm not going to use it. Okay, as soon as you open the hood, there are only three things that you inspect on the passenger side. First is the alternator. You will always find the alternator because it has that red tag on it. Okay? So you got that alternator. The next one that you're going to inspect is the belt. Remember, on the belt, you got to push it in. Not pull it, push it. And it has no more than what?
3/4.
3/4 of an inch play. Now, here's the cool part. The last one and you inspect is the water pump. How do you find the water pump? You will find the fattest hose, see it? And you will chase it, and it shoots up right behind the alternator. Okay, 10 out of 10 times, this truck will be hot. We don't want your hands back there. So you know what's cool about this? You get to play it off. Like even though you don't know where the shit is, you get to play it off. I'm gonna check the water pump. Right over here. Make sure it's properly mounted. It's not leaking. And they're like, cool. Because we don't want your hands in there. Just point to it. Okay? So, what are the three things we inspect on this side?
Alternator belt.
No more than?
3/4 of an inch.
How do we find the water pump?
That's
And it shoots over here, right? Right?
Okay, right.
Right.
No, you made your own.
And everything on the passenger's side is belt driven.
Yeah.
And then everything on the driver's side is what?
Gear driven.
I like to say Steeler driven. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So just remember that. Alternator, belt, water pump, everything on this side is belt driven. Okay? Now we're going to walk to the other side. Okay, as soon as you come here, I like to teach you guys in a sweeping motion. Every time I teach you guys something, it's organized. We're gonna start from the top, sweep, and then we're gonna come through outside the tires, okay? First thing that you three are gonna mention when you're on the driver's side, get rid of your three liquids. Start from the top. There's our coolant, power steering, and our oil. You know what's been happening for 3 straight weeks, and I hope you three don't ask? Danny, how do you know it's power steering? I don't know, because I know how to read. What about the oil? I don't know. You tell me, because it says engine oil. Okay? You don't need to pull the dipstick out. The only time you pull the dipstick out is when you drive over the road. Then we want you guys to do the pre-trip swift way. But on the test, you don't pull it out. You just get rid of the 3 liquids: the coolant, power steering, and the oil. First thing you want to say is just common sense. You want to make sure it's at a level where it's full or yep. Okay? So watch the motion. The 3 liquids. As soon as you come here, don't be like Mark. All right? Mark thinks this C stands for Cummins. That stands for the air compressor. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
What does C stands for?
Compressor.
No, it stands for come and look. You see it? But that is the compressor. But the reason why I pop a joke like that, because you guys have to show us where it is. That's why I want you guys to come and look at it. Okay? Now C does not stand for Cummins. There ain't no Cummins in a piece of shit Volvo. Trust me. Okay? As soon as you come there, you can see what the stick is resting on. Is this long thing. Now we're going to the steering column. This is a steering rod right into your gearbox. Okay, now look at how cool this is with the change. I'm gonna talk about this hose and then I'm gonna get all my points for it. Okay, with this hose, I'm gonna inspect the hose to make sure it's on there tightly. It's not cut, not frayed, and not leaking anything. I will inspect all my hoses the same way. See that? Now, anything that has hose on it, you just got your points for it. So your tester will be, okay. How cool is that? Okay, now we're gonna go to the pitman arm right here. Pitman arm is just like your arm here, you know, when you used to break dance, you know what I mean? When you're doing this. Yeah, there it is. This is your pitman arm, this is your castle nut, and your cattle pin. You know how you're gonna remember that castle nut? Because Danny is the king. Where's my castle? You guys are that little pin right there. Okay, here's the drag link. Okay, now if you guys come over here and look at this gap, there's the lower, see the drag link? There's the lower and then the upper. Lower and upper, but there's another castle nut cattle pin. Do I need to mention that? No, you don't, because it only needs to be mentioned once, which you already did over here. Now, your tie rod. A lot of people don't understand what a tie rod is. Tie rod is like, that's like your, like when you're benching, this is your bar, and the tires are your plates. That's what your tie rod is. Okay? Now, I want you two to remember this. I'm gonna teach you 4 memories. And the memory that you three will learn, that's the majority of your pre-trip. And the reason why I have you guys remember these 4, because they're on all the sections. Okay? First memory, right behind your pitman arm is your spring mount. Okay? Spring mount. Now follow it. Spring mount, leaf spring, shock absorber, U-bolt. Okay, first memory is what?
Spring mount, leaf spring, shock absorber, and then your U-bolt.
So remember, leaf spring, just think, it's thin like a leaf. Spring mount, meaning something has to be mounted on, which is all of it. We all know the shock absorber, and then the U-bolt, because it's shaped like a U. Okay? Now, the second memory is the brake chamber. Okay? 4 things we inspect on the brake chamber. I already gave you the answer to. Is the brake chamber itself. It has a hose on it, but I already got the point for that because of what I mentioned here. And then 2 main parts on the brake chamber is push rod, slack adjuster. When the brakes are released, no more than what? 1 inch play. Okay? Now, what are the 4 things that we inspect on the second memory? What's it called?
Brake chamber.
Okay, brake chamber.
Brake.
What? Okay, and the 2 main parts on the brake chamber. So think of this. Push, and then slack. I used to tease my brother because, you know, he's a big dude. He's always adjusting his slacks because he wears slacks all the time. So tell me the 4 things again. The brake chamber, and it has the hose. 2 main parts on the brake chamber. Push rod, slack adjuster, and no more than how many inch of play when brakes are released?
1 inch.
Good job. Now let's cover the first memory. First memory is what?
Spring mount, leaf spring, shock absorber, U-bolt.
And U-bolt. Okay, second memory is what?
Brake chamber.
Tell me the 4 things you inspect. You already gave me the first answer.
Brake hose,
Okay.
push rod, and slack adjuster.
Now finish it. When the brakes are released,
No more than
No
one.
more than 1
good
inch.
job. Now we're going to go inside the rim. And here's the easy part. It's called the inner rim. There are only 2 things we inspect inside the rim. Now you will remember this by my motion. The lining and
Drum line.
drum. So the 2 things we inspect inside of the rims are what?
lining,
and the drum. Okay, so brake lining and brake drum. Okay, so that's how easy the third memory is because there's only two things we expect. It's the what?
lining, and the brake drum.
Okay, let's go to first memory. First memory is what?
Spring mount. Spring leaf.
Spring.
U-bolt.
Okay, four things we expect on the second memory. What's it
Brake
called?
chamber,
Brake chamber.
Brake hose.
Two main parts.
push
Slacker
rod, and slacker jet.
Good job. Third memory, inside the rim. Two things we expect inside the rim.
lining and
Drum.
Good job.
Brake
See
drum.
how cool? Now we're gonna go to the tires. When you guys do your testing on the tires, it's not gonna be tires. On the test, it's called ICD. That's the acronym. I stands for inflation, C stands for condition, D stands for depth. So the inflation is what? 90 to 110. C stands for condition. You explain it, what you're looking for. So I want to make sure it's not cut, no uneven wear or tears, and make sure the wires are not showing. The depth for the steering tires is 430 seconds. Everywhere else is what?
232.
Good.
You said four what?
430 seconds. What's your favorite football team? Oh, the Rams? Oh, that's cheering for them, dude. What's your team? Eagles? Oh. And what's your team? Don't say the Cowboys.
I'm really literally.
Oh,
that's
right. You gonna say Cowboys?
That's so funny.
That's the
Yeah,
best
I was
team.
gonna
She
say
said the
if
Cowboys,
anything,
so
the Cowboys.
we'll make
She
sure
look
that
like
she won't
Cowboys
test
fan.
on Sundays because they don't do good on Sundays. Okay, I stands for what?
Inflation.
What's the number?
90 to 110.
Okay, C stands for?
Condition.
Explain it in your thought.
No, it's not. It's
No excessive wear, no
the wires
showing
showing through.
wires and no
Come on.
cuts.
No cuts.
Good job. And D stands for?
Depth.
Depth.
Which is?
432 inch.
You
Yeah,
said 430
like what?
seconds?
432,
Yeah.
432, yeah.
You should
Oh,
know
the
that because
432. My
that's
bad. Is the way you said 430 seconds. It's confusing me.
yeah, 430 seconds. 230
And,
seconds.
and then the 232.
You should remember that because that's always Cowboys fourth down. 432.
He's right.
We're just a
He's right.
432.
432, cuz. I'm just kidding. Okay. The only two things we inspect on the rims is make sure it's not cracked and no illegal wells. Say, what's the only two things we inspect on the rim?
Cracks and illegal
Crack
wells.
and illegal wells.
Key word for lug nuts is all present.
All present.
Okay?
What kind of food?
Yep. And then this is your hub seal. The only thing you're checking for that is make sure it's not leaking. Look how easy that is. That's our preacher. For A.
Gucci.
So now, let's go back from the beginning. What's my first memory?
Spring mounts.
Spring mount.
Spring
Spring
leaf.
leaf.
Spring.
Shock absorber.
U-bolt.
Second memory. Four things we inspect.
Brake chamber. Brake hose.
Push
Two
rods.
main
Slack adjuster. No more than 1 inch of play.
Okay, two things we inspect on the inside of the rim.
Lining and brake drums.
Good job. ICD. I stands for?
Inflation.
What's the number?
90 to
91 110.
Okay, C stands for?
Condition. There's no cuts. It's even. There's no wire showing through.
Good job. D stands for?
Depth.
What's the
430
depth?
second.
Okay, two things you inspect on the rim.
No legal
No illegal welds and
and
no cracks.
Okay, key word for?
All accounted for.
Okay,
All
what's the
legal.
only thing we check for?
Oil
No
for the
leaks.
hub oil.
What's this called?
Hub seal.
Hub oil.
See that? You guys already mastered Form A, huh?
I'm pretty sure what this was again because they told me
The
drive
steering
shaft.
rod.
Oh, that's the steering
Steering
rod.
rod.
That's the steering rod.
Because the other people over there that we had came
Yeah.
over there and they was like, let us teach
I
you
get
this.
that
And
all
I was
the
like,
time.
that's not it. That's
So
not
Well, that
it.
guy was-
this is how you remember. This is the steering rod, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the steering.
It moves when you
Yeah.
steer.
Yep. So that's the
But-
steering rod into the gearbox.
Yeah.
Do you have to say anything about the bushes when it comes to the spring mount? Nope.
You say spring
So
mount
don't
and
say
leaf
nothing.
spring mount? Or you
Yeah,
don't
so
have to
this
say
is
leaf
spring
spring
mount.
mount?
Leaf spring.
So you don't say leaf spring mount. You just say
No,
leaf spring.
just leaf spring.
Okay.
So that's the calcium nut and the
Powder pin.
powder pin.
Yeah. What are the only three things you expect on the passenger side?
The alternator, the belt, and the hose.
Water hose.
And the belt, no
Water
board
hose.
in.
Another
1
1
inch.
3/4 inch
Well,
of
no,
play.
no.
When
3/4 inch plate. Yeah.
Okay, what are my three liquids?
Coolant, engine,
Reservoir.
read it.
power.
Power steering.
And engine oil.
And then the
And
oil
engine
gets,
oil.
yeah.
What's
oil.
the C stand for?
Come in.
Come look.
Come in.
The air compressor, right?
Yeah.
See, you guys already passed A. So now let's go to B. So you guys come over here. I'll start from this way and walk that way. Okay. Now if you get form B, you start from the driver mirror to the back of the truck. Okay? So, first thing I'm gonna talk about is the mirror and make sure it's properly mounted and it's not damaged, not broken. The big mirror is called a flat mirror, and the second one is called a convex mirror, and make sure it's not cracked. I'm gonna open my door to make sure it opens and it closes, then I'll open it again. The only thing I check when my doors are open is my weather seal and then my hinges on my door. Okay? This is my steps. You see how I'm sweeping?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my steps. I want to make sure it's properly mounted. To get into my battery, it's back there. I just unlock this and then my battery boxes are back there. Okay? This is my marker light. Anything I talk about lights, I gotta say what?
Amber color.
No, they're
And
And it's not
working
cracked.
clean and clear.
Clean and clear.
Amber and color. And what is this used for? It's on the driver's side.
Forward and signal.
Which side?
Left side.
Left
Left side.
Remember, you always got to mention what side.
Left
So
side.
say it
Okay.
just like this. This is my marker light. It's clean and clear, not damaged, not broken. It's amber in color. What this is used for is my left turn signal and my four-way flashes. Okay? Now, I'm going to get my points from my fuel cap by just mentioning one. Watch how cool this is. This is my DEF cap. I will inspect this and make sure it's there and it's on there tightly. I will inspect my fuel cap the same way. See how easy? So now I got this point and I got that point. Now we're going to walk this way. Now, when you guys do your pre-trip for B, I want you guys to do it to the letter U. We're gonna shoot that way, come out this way, come out through this action. Okay? So, do I need to mention these steps?
Nope.
No, because we took care of it over there. I'm gonna mention my fuel tank to make sure it's not damaged, it's not broken, it's not leaking any fuel. I will inspect my fuel strap to make sure it goes around my fuel tank. Okay? Now I'm gonna shoot that way. I'm going to inspect my catwalk to make sure it's properly mounted and it's free of debris. Then I just go ahead and talk about my frame. See my frame? I want to make sure my frame is not cracked, there's no illegal welds. Now the drive shaft, everybody know what a drive shaft looks like because it's all in the car. It's that long ass thing that gets your power from. So I'm going to inspect my drive shaft, and then I'm also going to inspect my torque arm, which is another word is dog bone. We got two. We got one over here and one on the other side. So you guys come in this gap and I'll show you. See this? It looks like a dog bone. See it? Torque arm. Okay? So we got one there and then one behind the fifth wheel. Okay? Now, the only thing you gotta expect on an exhaust system, just say I wanna make sure it's not damaged, it's not broken, and it doesn't need my attention to it. Okay? Now here's the cool part. What is my first memory? That we did up there.
Spring mount.
See, there's the spring mount. What comes with the spring mount?
Spring leaf.
The leaf
Leaf
spring.
spring. And then,
Shock absorber.
and then,
And
U-boat.
then the U-boat.
okay, now U-boat. Now something's added now. It's this. Airbag. Okay? So this is what I want you three to remember. Your first memory, spring mount, leaf spring, U-boat, shock absorber. On B, something's added, which is the airbag. When you do the first memory to the trailer, you will only do three things because two things are minus. There is no airbag, no shock absorber for the trailer because it's not air ride. So if you get Form C and you do the first memory, the only thing you say is spring mount, leaf spring, U-boat for the trailer. Make sense? Okay, second memory is what?
Spring mount.
No brake chamber.
Okay,
Oh.
now we all know the brake chamber has a hose.
Yeah, brake
So I would say, okay, I will inspect that hose and make sure it's on there tightly and it's not leaking anything. I'll inspect all my hoses the same way. Two main parts on the brake chambers are what?
The hose.
brake
No.
with a brake.
Two
Slack adjusters and your
Yeah.
push rod.
When the brakes are released?
1 inch.
More than 1 inch.
Okay, Now we're gonna go to the third memory inside the rim. What is the only two things we inspect?
Your trim and your brake drum. Your lining.
And your drum. Okay? Now we're gonna go to ICD, and before we go to the ICD, something's added because those are singles and these are duals. So we want to check the what?
Make sure it's free inside
The spacer.
Bud spacing.
Okay, make sure it's what? Free
Yeah.
Debris.
Free of debris. Good. Now we're gonna hit the ICD. I stands for,
inflation.
which is?
91.
C stands for?
Condition.
Good job. I already know, you guys explained it in your mind. D stands for?
Depth.
Which is?
230 seconds.
What's the only two things you inspect on the rim?
The rim, which is no legal
No
wells,
illegal-
not cracked.
Not cracked.
Okay?
No damage.
Keyword for lug nuts.
All present.
All
All
present.
luggage are present.
Okay,
Kind of
please,
point.
please don't come up here and say these are lug nuts. These are not lug nuts. Lug nuts are back here. Okay? And what's this called?
Axle
That's
seal.
the,
Oh, get some.
Ooh.
That's the first time. Usually, hub seal, no? Hub seal's only for the front.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is called the axle seal. What's the only thing we expect on that?
And it's not
No
leaking.
leaks.
That's it. Don't come in there and tell me a story. Okay? Don't be that student that go above and beyond. First of all, Danny, I want to make sure that this axle seal is clean. Oh, it's not clean. Let me go ahead and wipe it off. Okay? Don't do that. All right. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about the splash guard, man.
Yes. We finally got it right.
We all know damn well these are not splash guards, right? They're mud flaps, but the state wants us to call it a splash guard. The only thing you got to say about that is present. Then you got your DOT reflective tape that's at what percent?
50%.
100 or 50?
100.
100. It's only 50 on the side of the trailer.
Oh, okay.
And then it's 100 behind the tractor, 100 behind the trailer. Okay, now in every section you got to do a light. Remember how we did the light before we opened the hood?
Yeah.
You got to do it in every section. Where do we do it now? In the back. So this is all I say. Okay, I'm gonna go to my lights. I want to make sure that they're clean and clear, not damaged, not broken. They're red in color. What is it used for? My left turn signal, right turn signal, my four-way flashers, my brake lights when I jump on my brake, and then when I turn on my lights, it becomes my running light. I do have a light also that's in the middle, which is clean and clear, not damaged, not broken, and it's white in color. And what that is used for is my reverse light. And there's your Form B. So, does the pre-trip look easy?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Easy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Your other group over there, they're all struggling.
Y'all report.
You know why I don't teach you guys the pre-trip on a Freightliner? Because the water pump on the Freightliner is on the driver's side. Where's the water pumper on the Volvo?
Water pump.
On the Volvo is where?
Oh, on the other side.
On the
Oh,
passenger.
yeah.
See, if I
Yeah.
tell you guys pre-trip on the Freightliner, it will screw you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna do Form C, which is the trailer. Do we need to mention these?
Yes.
We do, but these are the coupling system. It doesn't go to the trailer. The coupling system is a section by itself. So you have to do the whole pre-trip first and then come do the coupling. You can't mix it. If you mix it, the tester will stop you. Okay, I need you to finish your pre-trip before you talk about the coupling system. Okay? Now we're gonna talk about the trailer. First thing I'm gonna check is my clearance lights up top and make sure that they're clean and clear, not damaged, not broken, it's amber in color. I'm gonna check my header board. Make sure my header board is not damaged. And then on your rivets, the only thing you gotta say is I'm gonna inspect them to make sure it's not missing more than 3 in a row. Okay? And then you'll walk to the side of the trailer. First thing you're gonna say is my DOT reflective tape gotta be at what percent? 50%. There are only 2 things that I inspect in the bottom of the trailer before I talk about my landing gear. Okay? You got your cross members. Okay? And then the floor itself. I want to make sure that the floor doesn't have any holes in it. Okay? Now I'm going to check my landing gear leg. I'm going to inspect my landing gear leg to make sure it's not bent, not damaged, because if it is bent, I can't roll it up. So, idea for all of you guys. If you ever go and pick up a trailer and this is bent, don't pick it up. Okay, just report it. And then they'll probably give you another load. You pick that up, they're going to just blame you for it. Okay? Okay, everything else here is called your support beam. You just want to inspect it to make sure it's not damaged, not broken. All right? Now we're going to continue to walk over here. Is this important?
Yes.
Yes, it is, but it's not on your test. So, what about that?
Yes.
That's not on your test either. So,
Wow.
okay, here's my marker light. Now, help walk me through it. because it's a light, what do we say about it?
It's clean,
What is
clear, not
clean
black.
and clear,
Clear,
not damaged, not broken. Now what color?
Amber.
Tell me what it's used for now.
Four-way flasher and your left turn signal.
Good job. Okay. Now, I'm gonna use this axle to do my pre-trip. Okay. First thing I'm gonna inspect is my release onto my tandems. Make sure it's in locking position, it's not damaged, not broken. Now let me show you guys where the torque arm is on here. This is where everybody misses on the test. This is the torque arm. Okay, right here. That little, if you look down this hole, that torque arm looks like a dog bone. Okay, now I'm gonna cover my first memory. Do your first memory minus the 2. So there's only 3 things we say on the first memory, which is
Spring mount.
spring mount,
Spring leaf.
U-bolts.
U-bolts. Second memory. What are 4 things we expect from the second memory? What's the name of it?
Your
Brake chamber. There it is.
Brake hose.
Okay, now it has a hose. What do we say about that hose?
It's not no cut, not cut, not damaged, no leaks.
And then get all my points for all my hoses.
And then
I will inspect all my homes the same manner.
Yes, sir. What are 2 main parts on a brake chamber?
The push rod and sock
When the brakes are released?
adjustment.
Okay, now we're gonna go inside the rim. 2 things we inspect inside the rim.
The lining, the braking, and the drum.
Good job. Now we're gonna go to ICD. Before we do so, it's the dual tires again. What do we cover? Okay, it's called butt spacing. We want to make sure it's what?
Free of debris.
Free of debris. I stands for
Inflation.
number.
Body contact.
C.
Condition.
Explain.
No cuts, even, wires not showing.
D stands for.
Depth,
What-
230 seconds.
Good job. 2 things we inspect in the rims.
Uh,
No cuts.
no legal
No
wells.
cracks. No illegal wells. Keywords for lug nuts.
All counted for.
What we check on the hub seal.
Hub seal's not
No
leaking.
oil.
Hub seal.
Hub seal.
Is it a hub seal?
It's not. It's an actual
Axle
seal.
seal.
I'm just
Actual seal.
listening.
It's not
Okay.
leaking.
What we check
Oh,
on the
no.
axle seal is what?
Not leaking.
Good job. Keyword for this.
Splash guard.
Flash
guard.
guard.
It's present.
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 Okay. Now this is your door tie.
Door side.
Okay. Remember, the door will open and it will tie onto that. So you want to inspect to make sure that's there. You got our ABS light. What do we say about it? Clean, clear, not damaged.
Not damaged. Amber.
What color?
Amber in color.
What is it?
Indicates ABS.
It's your ABS light.
Yeah.
Is this light important?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is,
Where
but it's
is
not
your
on
mark?
your test. Okay. As soon as we get to the back of the trailer, the first thing that you inspect the back of the trailer is your hinges. You want to make sure they're all present. We don't need to mention the clearance lights. Why? Because we mentioned it first in front of it. Okay? And clearance lights I only mentioned once. Now, I'm going to go straight to my lights. You notice I don't need to talk about this because it's not on your test. Don't try to open a door. Don't try to be macho. It's not part of your test. Now, because this is Form C, we get to do the lights back here for Form C. The lights are clean and clear, not damaged, not broken. What color?
Red.
What is it used for?
Everybody left and right turn.
Four-way flashes.
And brakes.
And brakes.
Brake lights, and when I turn on my running lights, it becomes what? Your running lights, right?
Right.
Okay, now this is added. You got your license plate lights here. What this is called is your indication light. Okay? DOT bumper is important, but it's not on your test, but this is. What percent is your DOT?
100%.
100%. So you guys understand why it's 100?
Cool.
Yeah, because it's full. And then you guys see the side of the trailer? It's 50 because there's gaps.
Okay.
Okay? The only thing that we expect on this side, I usually tell my students, is tell the trainer, relax. I'm about to pass this shit. Because the only thing I expect over here is my landing gear arm for my landing gear. I just want to make sure it's in locking position. It's not damaged, not broken. See how cool? Okay, now, if you guys get each section, A, B, or C, it's 21 points. Now, as soon as you finish your pre-trip, you're going to go to your coupling system, which is 11 points. And then in-cab is 15. So if you get a full form, just add 21 up 3 times, plus 11, plus 15. Make sense? Okay, let's go to the coupling system. Now that I showed you 3 the pre-trip, look how easy this shit was. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. See, they're ready to be tested. Look at those guys over there doing straight line with an old preacher.